My name is Kirsten and I'm with the Florida Wildlife Hospital, and I have one of our volunteers, Jackson, here with me too. We did bring some of our education ambassadors that I'll introduce you guys to later. We have Wink, the Eastern Screech Owl, and Blossom, the Opossum. So I'll walk around a little bit with them. You guys are already doing great, but I always tell people inside voices if you can, since we do have animals, but you guys are already doing that, so you're awesome. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about our hospital. So what the Florida Wildlife Hospital mainly does is we take in sick, injured, and orphaned native Florida wildlife and migratory birds. So our main goal is to rehab them and release them back out into the wild. So our motto is keeping wildlife wild. We do unfortunately have some animals that aren't able to go back out into the wild, like Wink and Blossom, whether it be due to an injury that would make them not the best to go back out in the wild, or other reasons as well. So we keep them for education ambassadors, but we've also given some to other programs. We had a pelican that went to the National Zoo in Washington, D.C., and we just had another opossum that went to the Orlando Science Center too. So we work with other nonprofits and other wildlife organizations to try and place these animals if they're not able to go back out in the wild. Nursery, we need 100 dishes cleaned every single day. Right now we have about 60 animals in our nursery, and in total I believe it was 160 that I had checked. But last year alone we had 6,000 patients come in, so we get a lot. So with this program, we're gonna talk all about owls. So we're gonna go over some of the features that they have that make them really unique, and I'm also gonna talk about some of them that you can find here in Brevard County. 7 species. Specifically here in Brevard, we have 5. We have the barred owl, the burrowing owl, the barn owl, the great horned owl, and the eastern screech owl, which is what Wink is. And I'll go over a little bit more of them, and you guys can hear their different calls that they have too. Step up. Good. So this is Wink, and I am going to walk around with this to make sure he doesn't poop on the carpet. But Wink is an eastern screech owl, and he is named Wink because he only has one eye. I'll walk around a little bit so everybody can see him as well. He came to our hospital in 2020. He was at another rehab facility when he already lost his eye and had some head trauma. So without his eye, he can't properly hunt in the wild, which is why he went and got transferred over to our hospital. He is fully grown. He is an adult. So a lot of times when people see eastern screech owls, they think that they're little babies, but he's actually fully grown. We have another one and he's 21 years old. Same size as him, but a different color. So I'll walk around a little bit so you guys can see Wink. The owl as well.
They can't take it home. Oh, he's so cute. Does he speak?
So he will trill sometimes. He'll make like a little like whoo sound, but he kind of only does that when he's a little stressed out. So him not making sounds is a good sign.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah. Here, I'll walk up the aisle so you guys can see him as well. I'll come on your side as well. We call them morphs. Here, I'm gonna walk to the side so the projector doesn't get in his eye. There you go, so you guys can see him. So he's considered a brown morph, but they also have red morphs and gray ones as well. So the gray ones can commonly be found on oak trees because their camouflage matches the oak tree's bark.
And age?
He came in as an adult in 2020. They can live up to 5 years in the wild because they are small, so they typically do get hunted pretty often.
Impaired.
Yep, so he's missing one eye, but he can see pretty good out of the other one. Are you able to see him?
What does he eat?
He will eat stuff like rats and insects, so we feed him crickets and mealworms too.
He's probably a small.
We do feed him. We do feed him the tiny ones. Toe. So they have 4. They can either do 3 and 1, which is typically what they do when they hunt their prey and they grab them, or they can rotate 1, and that's when they hang out on the branches, and they can do 2 and 2. So Jackson's gonna walk around with them, and I will show you guys how Wink is right now. So you can see he's got that 2 and 2, because he's treating my finger like it's a branch right now. And that unique feature is actually only for owls. Other birds of prey aren't able to rotate that toe.
I bet they used to do like a slave pellet type.
Really unique features that you guys were probably able to see is their beaks. So a lot of birds will have their beaks right out in front of their head here, but owls will have it curved down, and that helps them with the seeing, with the hunting. They don't have anything obstructing their vision. Could you get me the spray water for him? Thank you. So sometimes what owls will do is they pant, just like dogs do when they're a little stressed, if they're a little too warm. So Jackson's gonna bring me over a little spray bottle, and I'm gonna mist him to cool him off a little. There we go. You can see him opening his mouth to get the little water droplets. Great hearing, great eyesight, terrible sense of smell. One of the great horned owl's favorite foods is actually skunks. And that is why, because they can't smell it. So that's one of their poorer features that they actually have. And another one that I was mentioning earlier is nests. They are terrible at building nests. So they commonly will come in after storms because they're in unstable nests from older birds that they went and took over, and they fall a lot, especially when they're young too. So the first one that I've been talking about a lot is our great horned owl. And we do have one, his name is Archer. We weren't able to bring him today because we do everything voluntarily with our ambassador animals. So if you guys heard me, I said step up and step down when I put Wink in there. So that's him voluntarily coming to the glove. So Archer, unfortunately, was not in the mood to go on the glove today. But we do have some photos for you guys to still see and everything. He is very similar in characteristics like Wink is. He has those ear tufts. Not all of the owls do have that, but he is much bigger. Wink, like you saw right here, Archer, about that tall. So with Wink, I can hold him on my finger. With Archer, I have a glove that goes up to here, and he is gripping on my whole arm there. So they are very, very large predators. They are found throughout most of North America, and they're typically found in areas like parks, forested areas. Like I was saying, this is one that can be found here in Brevard County. We don't see too many of them come to the hospital, but we have seen some before. One of our other ones is barn owls, and if you can see there, they have no ear tufts, so they're very flat on the head, very bright white coloration to them too. They're actually one of the ones that a lot of farmers had ghost stories of, because they hang out in barns, and the sound that they make when you guys hear it, it does sound a little ghostly. They believed that they were actually ghosts in the barns too. It's this bright white figure that makes this sound. A much different sound.
Yeah.
So we call that more of a screeching sound than a hoot. So you can see why seeing a white figure making that kind of sound in a barn might be a little scary. But they are not to be feared. They're actually so great for farmers. Another one that we have here is the barred owl. This one has a very distinctive yellow beak. So our other one, like Wink and Archer, the great horned owl, they have the coloration in their eyes, whereas barred owls have bright yellow in their nose and really, really dark eyes. They also have bars. So in wildlife, if it's across like this, it's considered stripes. If it's up and down, it's considered bars. Blossom. And she is actually one of our newest ambassadors. She only came in May of this year, so we believe she is under 6 months old.
Do they screech?
No, she will open her mouth sometimes to show off those teeth, but she hasn't been doing that lately, which is great because we don't want our ambassadors to be like that. But yeah, she came into our hospital with part of her tail missing. So her tail's at the bottom of the pouch, so I can't show you, but she's missing about this much of her tail. We think that a predator probably got her, possibly a cat, maybe a larger possum or a raccoon too. Yeah, because she came in very, very little. She came in May and has already probably tripled her size, I would say, by now.
Oh, really? How long do they live?
They can live for 3 years.
That's all.
Yeah, they have a very short lifespan. At nighttime, but there's sometimes that we'll put food out or little toys for her, and at night we come back in the morning and it's all moved around. So she definitely has fun still at night. Super important owls to get rid of the rodents. It was something that we saw when they got rid of them, their crops started to die. So we see the importance of having owls in those agricultural areas. They are a top predator. They are considered a bird of prey. Wink, not as much as a top predator, but still a little predator. And they also generate tourism. So there's so many people that will come to Florida specifically to look for the kind of owls that we have here. We have some very unique ones. Burrowing owls, for example, are only found in South Wildlife Hospital helps them. One of the big things that we do is re-nesting. So when we have some of those little cotton ball ones that come over to the hospital, we're not able to take care of them as well as their mom can. So if there's a hope and a way for us to put them back in their nest and reunite them, that's what we're gonna try and do. We've had people with cherry pickers help us get to the top of a tree to put a great horned owl baby back there, and the mom came right back over. So we really try and strive for that as well. We do raise some of the orphans if the re-nest is not successful or we can't find where the nest came from. We do raise them, and we have a really good ratio of that and them being able to go back out in the wild. And we do treat our sick and injured ones. This one right here is an eastern screech owl that was going under some anesthesia. We do rehabilitation treatment for them too, even laser therapy for their wings to make sure that they're good to.
That I had not heard of before is a marsh rabbit.
Yes.
Because I like, I like to walk around the lake.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't, but I do feed them a little bit because they'll come up to the side.
Right.
And they're so cute. And I was accustomed to seeing regular rabbits, but these are obviously different. And then someone had said, "Oh, that's a marsh rabbit," and I had never heard of that before.
Yeah, so we commonly will have both the eastern cottontail bunny, which is that white cottontail that you know, and then the marsh rabbits, which are kind of more of a darker brown and even a reddish tint color to them. I don't recommend feeding them because they will start to kind of get used to people feeding them and not hunt themselves. But yeah, marsh rabbits and eastern cottontails are the ones that we have a lot.
I had noticed that they were expecting me. They'll hear my walker come.
Aw.
And so I'll stop feeding them because I thought about that. I don't want to depend on them.
Right, exactly. But yeah, the marsh rabbits are really unique.